Every time I show off this TV on Instagram or TikTok, I get some funny comments from people saying things like, why does that TV have an oven door? Or, is that how you make TV dinners? Or, so what are we watching on the oven tonight? But I also get some good comments from people that are actually curious about what type of TV this is and why it has this glass door across the front. Many people even believe that it's a custom built cabinet, and out of all the TVs I own, I would say this is the one I get asked about the most. But honestly, it's the one with the least amount of information available. So let's dive in and see what we can uncover about this mysterious console. And in the words of Robert Stack, perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery. Hi, and welcome to the Vintage Video Basement. I'm Matt Parker, and one thing you may not know about me and the basement is that I tend to not collect the more sought after items. I really like to find the more unique and unusual vintage electronics that there really aren't many people searching for. And the TV we're going to be looking at in this episode is exactly that. A few years back, I was searching on Facebook Marketplace, like I do practically all the time, but I came across this listing, and the TV in these poorly lit photos instantly captured my attention. I was immediately intrigued by the glass front that spanned the entire console, but I had no idea what kind of TV it was. There were no brand names or logos to be seen. The description offered little information. Doing a reverse image search returned absolutely nothing online. And so I decided to send the seller a message requesting additional photos, and those were slightly better. I was actually able to determine that it was an RCA thanks to this small inconspicuous badge on the front of the console. But using this new information and these slightly clearer photos, I still could find absolutely nothing about this set online. So I was starting to realize that this beautiful and unique console was on the verge of being lost to history, but not if I had anything to do with it. So before I tell you more about purchasing and picking up this TV from the original owner, let's go do a full inspection on it and see what it looks like under the cover. We're going to begin by getting the top of the TV cleared off so we can get a better look at it. Let me unplug this CD player. Also by RCA, so it's a good combo to go with the TV from around the same time period too. But just look at this beautiful wood grain on this thing. This isn't your standard maple or oak. This wood has like a golden hue to it. It's very shiny. It just looks absolutely amazing. And all the controls are hidden here behind this pocket door that's like smoked acrylic. You can power the unit on by pressing the button in the middle. You've got your volume and channel controls, adjust the time, as well as color and contrast, sharpness and brightness, bass and treble for the audio, and then the tint. You can actually select how you want the speakers to be, if you want a mono or stereo, or you can hook up an external source like a stereo system and play through the speakers. Here's the original remote, not in the best shape, but it's the only indication that this TV is a Colortrak 2000. Nothing else on the TV shows that. You remember the old channel list that people would keep around so they know which channel to turn to? Here's the RCA badge hidden behind the glass, so kind of hard to see. So you can open the screen, you can pop it open, and it'll hook itself. That way you don't accidentally hit it and the whole screen fall off. These hooks can be pushed up, and then you can lower the whole glass door out of the way. It's got a 25-inch RCA Colortrak 2000 picture tube. You would expect speakers to be on the side, but of course that wouldn't work with the glass door in front of it. There's the remote control sensor. Pretty clean, very nice TV. Love the hinges. And the speakers are actually down across the bottom, which is a really cool design, sitting on top of this chrome base, which looks very classy. And this is like a photo sensor. I'm not entirely sure what this photo sensor does, but it's right in the middle of the speakers. So I'm going to try to figure that out as we're going. I believe it probably like automatically adjusts maybe the color and contrast and stuff based on the lighting. That doesn't really make sense with it being all the way down at the bottom under a lip. So not entirely sure. Now, believe it or not, I didn't buy this TV immediately when I saw it. My wife and I had just had our son less than a month earlier, and I just couldn't justify that $200 price tag. So I was really hoping someone else would come along and snatch it up, and I could just kind of forget about it. But as weeks went by and the listing remained, I realized this wasn't a TV that anybody was looking for. And I started getting a little anxious that it was just going to be sent to the dump. So I finally reached out to the seller and offered them $100, and the immediate response of yes, let me know. I probably could have gotten it for a lot cheaper, but I was perfectly fine with the $100 price tag. The seller let me know that it was her father's TV and that he would be there when I went to go pick it up. The console was located in Tacoma, Washington, which was only about an hour from where I lived at the time. So my wife, our newborn child, and I hit the road for Tacoma to go pick up a TV I knew basically nothing about. The only thing I knew is that it looked really cool, and that's one of the main priorities for me. An older gentleman greeted me at the door, curious as to why I was interested in the old console. He was almost suspicious as to what my intentions were. And I just told him I like to repair vintage electronics and collect them, and I thought this would be a great addition to my collection. His face lit up with both joy and relief. You see, I think he thought I was going to scrap it out or turn it into a fish aquarium. I began asking him questions about the TV, and his answers revealed how proud he still was to have owned the TV after all those years. He stared at it as he reminisced about how advanced it was for the time. He slid open the pocket door and told me about how it was stereo ready, which was a big deal in 1982 because most video formats and broadcast channels were still mono. He told me he had found the set at a local TV shop just a couple miles from his house and that it took two big guys to move it in. And he wasn't convinced that I was going to be able to move it out. But I assured him I had my hand truck. This wasn't my first rodeo. The console was definitely going home with me. Although brief, it was a great experience getting to chat with the original owner and feeling a spark of that excitement that he felt 40 years earlier. I knew the TV had been well loved, and he knew it was going to a good home and would continue to be cared for years to come. After I got the TV and continued looking, I finally came across this ad in an eBay listing. It's from an old magazine, but it shows this TV. This is the only picture I have been able to find of a TV of this model. It says the RCA Colortrak 2000. Television isn't always a medium for the masses. So it's given the implication that this is a very high-end TV. As you can see in the photo, it looks like the TV is in this house of very wealthy people. He's got the dad sitting there. He's got his pipe and his smoking jacket on. Kids on the floor playing with some cars. There's the mom. They're all sitting around this TV enjoying it. And it says, most people are willing to settle for less than a top drawer television. So it's saying that this is one of the higher end ones. But the ad is in general for Colortrak 2000, not just this model TV that I have. We do learn from this ad that the DD that's under the pocket door where the controls are stands for dual dimension. That's the sound system. It says 2 separate speakers and a genuine high fidelity amplifier. So finally we have some proof from RCA that they did, in fact, make this TV. Now let's pull the TV out, see what it looks like on the back, check out the model number and the serial number, and then we'll take that back cover off and see what's going on the inside. All right, so I'm going to pull the TV out, and you'll notice that there are no wheels on the bottom of it, so I'm going to have to pull it up onto the rug and kind of spin it around. It's not terribly heavy. The original owner had put a couple of splitters on the back, and unfortunately the set is an RF only set. You would think this higher end set would have a video input, but maybe a year later it would have, but not in 1982. So here we can see this label that shows the model number, GGR2090A, the serial number, and the manufacturing date of May 1982. And I believe that the first four digits of that serial number tell that the TV was built on the 21st week of 1982. On the back, you have some inputs for audio. Since this is a stereo TV, you can plug in some external source to have it play through the speakers. There's an AC switch, so you can turn the TV completely off, and that means the power button on the top or on the remote control will not be able to turn it back on. You got your controls for the colors down here, the vertical height adjustment, as well as focus and screen adjustments. Now let's take the back cover off and see what's going on the inside. I've had this TV for a few years now, but I have not done any repairs or maintenance to this TV, so I have not taken this cover off. I have no idea what it looks like on the inside. It may be super dusty. As far as I know, nobody's been in the back of this thing in over 40 years. So we'll discover this together, see what's going on in here. And here's the big reveal. Finally pulling the cover off for the first time. And it actually doesn't look too bad. You've got some dust, you've got some cobwebs. There's a little bit of, well, it looks like soot, but it's just dust that has accumulated in certain parts of the TV. But overall, it's not too bad. The TV was kept in a very well ventilated area. It had been in that same spot in the original owner's living room, as far as I can tell, since he got it in 1982 or 3. So it was very well maintained. You can see the board has a little bit of dust on it. It needs to be cleaned off, but overall not too bad. You can barely see through the neck on it. It's pretty much covered in dust. We'll get all this cleaned up and looking a little bit better. And then down here on the bottom you can see the speakers, as well as right there in the center is that photo sensor. And I believe I can probably figure out what it goes to and potentially what it does. But this is how the TV looks at the point of pulling the cover off. Really not that bad, but we'll do a little bit of cleaning up on it. You can see over here, and it goes all the way around the picture tube. The frame that would have been probably used on just about any of these RCAs this size, because you can see where the single speaker would have gone and where the controls would have been, and of course there's where the remote sensor is. So that stuff's just all hidden behind the black wood that's on the front of the console behind the glass window. And of course that's where the controls are up there now. Pretty interesting. Maybe if I follow that wire coming from that, what I believe is a photo sensor on the front, maybe I can follow it and figure out what it is. So following the wire from that photo sensor, it comes up, it's this yellow and gray wire here. And as you can see, they're leading straight up to the control board where the picture adjustments are. So it does seem like it has something to do with those adjustments. So potentially as the light changes, the TV automatically changes the picture. And so we can probably do some tests to figure out how that works and even if that works. But we're going to do a little bit of cleaning up in here, doing a lot of vacuuming, getting all this heavy dust off, being very careful not to touch anything that's going to potentially shock me. So you got to be careful around this stuff, and also being careful not to damage anything. We don't want to cause more trouble by being in here. And we'll blow it out and you'll see dust going everywhere. There was a good bit of dust in there. And it looks like I just blew a sticker off that I didn't realize while I was actually blowing it out. But I can always put that back on with a little bit of adhesive. Now we'll just wipe it down. Try to get it looking a lot better. I really like the shielding that's around this tube. It's got like a copper look to it. And it's going to shine real nice once I get it cleaned up. Wow, just look, that's a huge improvement already. Look at that. It's looking so good. Look at, wow. So just a little bit of cleaning really made a huge difference in how this looks. You can actually see into the neck there. Just beautiful. And looking right here on this diagram, it tells us the picture tube, but it has 3 options there. And so it's not that top one that says 19 VJWP22, because this is not a 19-inch screen. So it's got to be one of the 25 ones, since it is a 25-inch screen. But I'm not entirely sure which one it is, because I don't know what the difference between the 1 hole and the 2 holes are. But it's one of those picture tubes that is in this TV. You can see there that the chassis is CTC 111. So this is just like a general information sheet that would have been in probably all of these TVs that were the same chassis. So there you have it. After just a quick little cleanup, the inside looks much better. You can see a lot more detail. Like I said, not going to do any repairs at the moment. Seems to be working pretty good so far, although I do suspect in the fairly near future I will need to come back and make some minor repairs to it. But we were able to check out this diagram on the side, figure out what the chassis number is for this CRT, and also what the tube number is, even though I'm not quite sure which of the two 25-inch model numbers that this one is. At least we have something to go with. So let's put the back cover back on and keep that model number in mind, because I have an update and the whole mystery behind this console just got a little more mysterious and I'm not sure what's going on. As I was saying, there's been an update. I finally have some new information about this TV. I was just recently searching on eBay and I came across a listing with this RCA sales brochure that shows the entire RCA color television lineup for 1982. And right on the front cover is a TV that looks exactly like the one I have. But when I opened up the brochure, I was very surprised by what I found, and the mystery is actually even more insane now than it was before I found this brochure. So let's get into it, see what we have in here, and try to figure out just what the heck is going on. Okay, here is the dealer brochure, and as you can see right there on the front cover, TV looks just like mine. Super excited to find this because I've been looking for a while trying to find more information from RCA about this particular set. So I'm really excited to dig into this brochure. This brochure does cover the entire television lineup for RCA in 1982, so it's got a lot of really good information on the inside about just the general features of the sets. And as you open it up, it just unfolds to show the whole Colortrak line, the whole Colortrak 2000 line, as well as the XL 100 line. And on this particular fold out, we see all the 25-inch TVs in the Colortrak and the Colortrak 2000 lineup. And all of these, most of these look just like your general wood grain furniture piece of TV, but when you go all the way down to the bottom, you'll find the model that I have. Well, at least what looks to be the model that I have, because you'll notice the model number here is GFR 1001R. That is not the model number of my TV. Remember, mine was a GGR 2090A. So So something is strange here because the model numbers don't match up. And as you look through this, all these other sets also have GFR model numbers or something similar, but none of them have GGR. So apparently the most likely thing is that my TV is actually not a 1982 model. Now you can see the description says it's a unique avant-garde showcase for RCA's finest Colortrak TV performance. Handsome acacia wood veneer on select hardwoods. So there you go, it's acacia wood. A tinted acrylic front, that's surprising. It says it's tinted acrylic because it sure feels like glass. And it includes the same features as model GFR 938R. And that's the one that's located directly above it. It includes all the automatic Colortrak systems plus Colortrak 2000 remote control, super AccuFilter 100-degree picture tube, detail processor, automatic sharpness control, dual dimension sound system with 2 high compliance 9-inch oval speakers, audio input jacks, separate bass and treble controls, and multi-band cable ready tuning. So basically the same TV, just in 2 different consoles. After getting this new model number from the brochure, I was actually able to track down a few other references. So let's check those out. And one of those references is this magazine. It's a video review magazine from May of 1982, the same month my TV was made. But there's an article in here called The Ultimate Video System. And there's a section here about video monitors, and down at the bottom it says there are some unconventional conventional TV sets too, and it mentions RCA's cable ready model GFR 1001, for example, has 127 channel tuning, the most of any TV set. So that's a really cool plus for the TV. And then it mentions a General Electric and a Magnavox model. Those also have stereo sound and 25-inch screens, which are the largest among conventional TV sets, save for, of course, Sony's limited edition handcrafted KV3000 with a 30-inch screen and a $10,000 price tag, which I also have one of those TVs as well. So it doesn't have a picture of the RCA, but it's really cool to just see a reference of it in a magazine from the same time period. I also found some newspaper ads from 1982. This one appears to be a French-Canadian newspaper, and it's got several RCA products, which is really cool to see. But the great thing about this one is it actually gives a price, and you'll see there in 1982 this RCA was $2,295. Now that's Canadian. Convert that to USD, that's about $1,800 in 1982. And I also found a couple other newspaper ads that show RCA Video Expo Days, which you could take your old TV in and they'd give you a $100 trade-in value for one of the new sets. And one of them just happens to be the GFR 1001. Oh yeah, while we have this brochure, let's see if it says anything about the role that photo sensor might play. This part of the brochure really talks about most of the features of the Colortrak 2000, and down here in the bottom right hand corner you'll see all Colortrak models feature these automatic color systems, and one of those is automatic light sensor adjust picture for changing room light. Alright, so there you have it. All we have to do is go power the TV up, see what kind of image it produces, and test out that photo sensor. Do a quick test on this. I'm going to use my Syncor color generator. I like to use this old school equipment whenever I'm testing out these old machines. So it's going to hook up back on the back, RF only, as you see here. And then we can go through some color bars and a few different patterns. Kind of get an idea of what the image is going to look like. So let's hook it up and check it out. All right, we can start by turning on the color generator and powering up the TV. It's warming up. And right off the bat, the picture looks pretty decent. All the colors are there. We do have a little bit of a color bleed that you can see most noticeably on that blue bar in the middle. You see the color bleeding to the right. Some of that could be caused by this being an RF only TV, but it's something that's going to need to be looked at more in the future. And here you can see it looks like we got a little tilt going on and some convergence issues at the top and bottom, but fairly minor for the way I use a TV. Now I know you gamers are screaming about how terrible this geometry is, but that's not how I use my CRTs. I mainly watch movies on them. So these minor things aren't as noticeable for me. But overall, the TV looks really good for one that, as far as I know, hasn't been serviced in over 40 years, was transported across Seattle in the back of my car, and then was moved across the country in a moving truck whenever I moved from Washington State to Tennessee. So that's a lot of moving around, a lot of bouncing, and pretty minor issues that we're dealing with at the moment, but still something in the future we can go and improve upon. So now we're going to do some tests on the light sensor to see if it works, if it automatically adjusts the picture as RCA claimed it was intended to. So I've got a flashlight and we're going to shine a light on just the sensor. Now let me ensure you that the camera settings are locked, so no automatic adjustments will be made by the camera. So if you see anything changing about the screen, that's all being done by the TV. So we're going to, I got a flashlight here, we're going to shine it directly on the sensor. There's just a little bit of light in the room right now, but I could even, oh, you can see just as I wave my hand in front of it, see it getting dim and bright. I'm blocking a light source, and you can see my shadow down there on that light sensor. So if I put my finger up in front of it, it automatically dims the picture. And as I move it, it gets brighter. So I'm going to try it with the flashlight now too. I've got the flashlight, and you can see as the light hits the sensor, it gets brighter. So there you go. Based on the lighting in the room, the TV will automatically do a little adjustment to at least the brightness, but I would think it also is adjusting the contrast as well. That's awesome. I'm so glad that worked. Very cool. I just want to keep playing with it now. Now we'll test out an actual image on the TV using this digital tuner. See, that image looks perfectly fine. It looks great to me. For an RF only TV, that's pretty great. All right, this is a cartoon channel. Let's get to the cartoons.
Witness the world's greatest superheroes. And Marvin, trouble is my business. Super Friends. That's next on MeTV Tunes.
Bulletin for you to broadcast.
Return to more classic cartoons.
So there you go. Picture looks good. I'm going to adjust the sharpness a little bit. And depending on what you're watching, sometimes the sharpness, you don't want it too sharp. This will look better with the sharpness turned down a little bit. See, that looks amazing. That looks great. Perfectly happy with that image on this TV. Like I said, eventually I will need to come back and actually do some work on this TV. But for now, it's good enough. No reason to mess with it. Now you may still be wondering just what exactly is the purpose of having this glass or acrylic front on the TV. And there's actually a few different reasons why a TV set would have this. And this wasn't the only TV set with this. You would have found this in like Sony's Profil line, the Panasonic AG500R, as well as many others. And one of the key features for having something like this is that it actually protected the picture tube. It kept it from getting hit and scratched, so it just gave it a layer of protection. It also improves the picture, since it is tinted, by increasing the contrast. It makes the blacks a little blacker And so it makes the picture, as you can see here, look a little bit better. Especially in this TV, it just looks really cool. It makes the TV overall look sleeker since it extends past the picture tube onto where the black wood is. It just gives it this really elegant look that overall made the design of the TV look much better. So it not only had a function, it also improved the form of the television set. So in closing, I would still like to find some reference material for my particular TV set, the model number that I have. All the references I had found were not for my particular TV. So if anyone out there collects RCA stuff or happens to have a brochure like this for the 1983 line of RCA TVs and it shows my specific model, please reach out to me. I'd love to buy that from you if you're willing to sell it, or if you can send me some high resolution scans, that would be awesome. You can find high res scans of this brochure on my website, vintagevideobasement.com. There's a link in the description, so go check it out. I try to scan all these things as I go through them, all my articles from magazines, all my dealer brochures, and post that stuff there so other people can check it out and enjoy it. It has the entire brochure on there. But thanks for watching. In the future, if another one of these TV sets shows up, because as far as I know, this is the only one in existence, or if I get more information about it, or if I go to fix this one, I plan on doing another episode in the future. So let me know what I missed, if you have additional information about this TV set or anything that may be helpful to me. So in the meantime, until the next video, remember, save the CRTs. Thanks for watching.